There it is, the modular case. Today I'm going to talk mostly about this one right here, Mutable Grids, topographic drum sequencer. This module is the one that made me finally decide to go and start assembling a modular system, because this is just the most brilliant approach to drum sequencing that I've ever seen. It's absolute genius. My problem was that I was getting really dissatisfied with my own drumming, MIDI drumming, playing them on a keyboard. I would inevitably end up, I would revert back to the same three basic patterns that I knew how to play. And then I tried an XOX drum sequencer like Pocket Operator Rhythm, where you push these buttons to turn parts on and off per step sequencer. That's what it's called. And that was really stale too. Any drum pattern that I make, I don't really like it. Grids is called grids because it has this sort of imaginary grid array of digitally recorded drum patterns. And these two knobs here control your X and Y coordinates on that grid, so you can turn them to change the structure of the drum pattern. I kind of wish that there was some kind of chart or map that you could see this grid, but as far as I know, there isn't, and you just kind of have to twirl the knobs and listen until you find one you like. Anyway, it can be externally clocked. There's an issue with that because Grids expects multiple pulses per quarter note. And I'm waiting for another piece, a clock multiplier, to get external clock sped up fast enough so that there are 24 pulses for each quarter note. But I don't have that piece yet. It's coming, because the money came in at the beginning of the month and I ordered it, so it's on its way. Right now though, we'll just deal with this as it is. It's got an internal clock. You can turn up the tempo with the knob. You can also tap this button to set the tempo, but I am a knob kind of guy. I like turning knobs. There's your X and Y, and this knob down here is chaos knob. It'll inject an element of randomness into the pattern. With it turned all the way down, you just get exactly the same, I think it's 2 bars or 4 bar drum pattern. Well, as the chaos knob turns up, it'll give you these little variations. About halfway up, it sounds plausibly like it might be a live drummer. As you turn it up even farther, it sounds like it might be an insane drummer who just never plays the same thing twice in a row. There are CV inputs for all three of those parameters, so you can control them from somewhere else, like an LFO or envelope or some sort of modulation source. There are also CV inputs for these three channels, which control part density. As you can see, these lights are not flashing because I have all the part densities turned down. But if I turn it up, it starts to flash, and that indicates that a trigger signal is being sent out this jack right here. And then, I don't know, every couple of 4 of these, an accent signal will be sent out this jack down here. So though you have 3 channels, you've got 6 outputs. The accents can be used to trigger events that happen less frequently, and they're usually like they happen on the beat. I don't really know what sort of math they use to determine when the accent happens, but it's musically useful. And then, you know, you could turn this one up and turn that one up, and I have my lights all blinking. Aren't they pretty? Grids doesn't make any sound, so you cannot hear it by itself. It's a trigger signal generator. And to make any noise, we have to send this trigger out to something else that will produce a sound. And now the default, like the general expectation is that channel 1 is your bass drum, kick drum. Channel 2 is going to be your snare, and channel 3 is going to be your hi-hats. So if I take the trigger out from Grids, channel 1, and let's just do what is expected, and I'll plug that into the trigger in of the baffled T-kick, which is a bass drum module. Now you can see the baffled T-kick light is now blinking whenever Grids channel 1 light blinks. Still don't hear anything. I've got to plug the output of T-kick into a mixer over here so we can hear it. Voila! Pretty exciting stuff. Now I can turn up the part density and it'll hit a little more often. How about that? Bump, 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 bump. Now, T-kick can do quite a number of things. I can tune it. That is CV controllable. I can also adjust the resonance, which kind of also affects the tuning. If I turn the resonance way up, then it'll just ring out longer. This one right here is the click. Just gives it a sharper, harder attack. And well, this one down here is the CV attenuator. If you're sending control voltage in here, that will control the pitch. And then there's some more outputs. I'm not really going to get into all of the details of the T-kick right now, because I'm demonstrating Grids. Now then, the next channel, channel 2, normally would be a snare drum. So let me see. I'm just going to plug this into channel A of skis for right now. I could have used the shorter cable. I'm going to change that. I'm going to change that. A shorter cable. Now, what am I doing here? Skis is just a dual VCA voltage controlled amplifier. Although I think it would be more accurate to call it a voltage controlled attenuator, because what skis does, what a VCA does, is it controls the volume. It uses incoming voltage to control the volume of a signal that is being passed through. And for these other two percussion sounds, the snare and the hi-hat, you can use noise, which I'm going to generate with the baffled noise square over here. And, I'll just take for example, the digital noise. Now, if I plug this directly into my mixer, you just hear noise. Steady, uninterrupted noise. How do I chop that up into notes? Run it through a VCA. You'll see that this light is blinking in time with the trigger light over here on grids. So if I take that sound out of noise square, plug it into the input of skis channel A, and then I take skis channel A output and plug that into my mixer, now skis is chopping that signal up into notes for me. Amazing. And it's also, this is not just a straight simple VCA. It's got a basic decay envelope up here. So if I turn that up, it takes longer for the envelope to decay, and so you get a longer, fades off at the end. You can make it fade slower, or you can make it fade really fast. And then over here, I'm using that's the digital noise output of the noise square, and I can, well, I thought I could, wait a second, is that right? It's digital. Oh, I'm turning the wrong knob. This is the one. You can control the sample rate of the digital noise. Make it sound all 8-bit or anywhere in between. And this video's long enough, so that's it for today. More next time.